So it is 7 PM on January 7th, 2020, our first meeting of the year. We're going to open the committees meeting. Do roll call, please.
Committee members Dina Simpson. Here. William Luxinger is absent. Jen Christensen. Here. John Talbot is absent. Chris Samples.
Here.
Jared Doan.
Here.
Village President Rick Worm.
Here.
Treasurer Brenda Onabany.
Here.
I, Deputy Clerk Jess Pearson, am here. Village Clerk Sadie Moss.
Here.
Public Works Supervisor Brett Fergie.
Here.
Village Engineer Matt Hanson.
Here.
She's behind you. She will throw things.
I know. I'm ducking now.
Duck. All right. So the consideration of the minutes.
I'll make a motion to,
Oh, sorry, we got John.
You wanna make a motion to allow John to?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to allow John Talbot to be in the meeting per phone, whatever.
Due to work?
Due to work.
Due to work.
Second. Due to work. You missed that.
Not you, her.
I know. She
Okay,
said
who
it.
seconded?
I did.
Hold on. We good?
Yes. She did. Jen made a motion to allow John to attend
Like
remotely
per
due to
phone or
work.
whatever it is.
Jared second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes 7:02. John's attending at 7:02.
Here.
Oh, John Talbot, sorry.
Here.
All right. Now,
I'll make a motion to approve the December 3rd, 2019 committee minutes.
Second.
Jen makes a motion to approve the December 3rd, 2019 meeting minutes. Jared seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes 7:03. I have nothing this evening, so we'll move on to the clerk.
I have a lot.
You do.
So first thing on there is a reminder to schedule time to review closed session minutes for those of you who were not here last week. If I do not have everybody have the minutes reviewed by, I believe, the 17th of this month, we will be reviewing them minute by minute in closed session. So please, for the sake of
What
you
day
and your...
can we plan that for? Because I'm not gonna be here by the 17th, I'm just telling you now.
So the Tuesday after that, the committee meeting, so the next committee meeting this month, we'll just do closed session then, and we'll review them minute by minute.
That's the only way I'm gonna do it.
Can I come in on Thursday?
You can, but if I have one person who needs to review them in closed session, we'll all need to review them. If you want to do it separately so that you don't have to spend the time at that time, you absolutely can. So we can talk about that after the meeting.
All right.
Second on there is a discussion on updating the fob system. Our current fob system is connected to a computer that runs, Windows
Windows
7, which will become obsolete.
In
So
17 days.
yeah, so we have a quote already from one company to update our fob system to a newer system that can be on a newer Windows program. We have a second quote that hopefully I'll have by the end of next week. They're coming the end of this week to look at our system.
Are we gonna have new fobs, or it'll be the same fobs we got?
So the company coming this week will determine whether or not they can use our existing physical system, so it'll keep the same fobs and the same network. It'll be new boards on the back side.
Okay.
So we'll see. C, discussion on Village Hall. I'm just planting this idea in your head. We will not have a thorough discussion this until 2 weeks from now. I need this board to start thinking about whether we are putting some hefty money into the repairs that need to be done to our existing Village Hall, whether we want to update the existing Village Hall, or whether we want to start future planning for a new Village Hall. And those are next committee meeting. I will have photos of the existing damage that needs to be repaired this coming year regardless. So
Then we just get some gutters replaced?
it's that I've now got a rotted front out there behind the gutters, which is why the gutters haven't been put back yet. I
Okay.
still have the rotting eaves. I've got a second floor that's falling down. I've got a lot of issues.
The
So we'll-
second floor upstairs falling down?
We'll go over all of them in 2 weeks. I've got photos
There's a
that
couple
go
good
with them.
ideas for what we can do, and
Yeah, I just want everybody to start brainstorming and thinking
Yep.
about what's important to you.
ideas would be wonderful.
If you need, I can't remember what year it was,
I
but,
have them.
but we did I know we did some studies
Yeah.
next door,
Use this as a-
putting offices, and I think
Yeah.
maybe even a whole separate building too, I think.
We do. We have a plan that removes the first
many?
floor apartment, but I heard that tenant really likes
Nope.
their place. So, anyway.
We'll discuss it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll discuss it in 2 weeks. I just want everybody to start thinking about this. Start thinking about what's important to you.
But if you need any copies of anything, just let me know.
Perfect, thank you. The discussion on smoking ban on village property. We had an ordinance that was prepared by Dan. Since that discussion occurred, though, the supervisors have been able to get together and share concerns. And so the last we talked, this village board wanted to ban smoking on all village property, meaning public works building, meaning wastewater, everything. So here's the concerns that we have as supervisors. If we ban on village property, that means if somebody, I can hear that in the mic, Chris. That means if somebody in public works were to take up smoking, if they were to smoke, they'd literally have to stand in the dead center of 72. Because the opposite side of the road is also village property. That is village property. They can't go on the neighbor's property. We're kind of stuck in a conundrum there. That's not fair to our employees that we have out there. Same wastewater. They would have to walk all the way outside the gates in order to smoke. Unfair to the employee who chooses to smoke. And slightly dangerous asking our employees to step in the middle of a road to get off village property. So that's the first concern. Second concern was the banning of the smoking in the park. The people in the park are typically 16 to 18-year-olds on the weekends. So when we have a tournament there and we have a upset person because somebody is smoking, the person that they're going to ask to remedy that is a teenager. We don't feel that it's appropriate that that person is then put in that position. We do not have a police department around here. We have no way of enforcing that. And so you then just ask a 16 to 18-year-old to go tell an upset person to go that they'll take care of it, and then to go tell an adult to stop smoking. The remedies for this is, the suggestion was to have smoking areas or to ban smoking or make it prohibited within 15 feet of the shelters, the bleachers, the playground, and the concession areas, or the structures in the park, which is already existing, and to make it, just get it away from where all the congregated people are. But we as supervisors feel it's unfair to ban it on all village property.
I think we should just have designated smoking areas.
Not me. I think we should ban it on all of them. Let them go smoke in their car.
They can't smoke in their car. It's on village property. It's on village property.
Yeah.
Your property.
No, it's
smoking.
on village property.
No,
They
still
cannot,
smoking it.
Property.
they cannot smoke in their car.
Okay.
I have a
disagree.
question. I thought
think
we
you can.
couldn't ban smoking in the park because it was a public park.
No, you can.
Because I thought we had talked about this before.
No,
Like-
you can.
Hold on, let me look it up now.
I mean, we can ban it or put designated areas up. I mean,
But you run into the same problem.
I mean, there's
Who's gonna
been-
enforce it? They're standing in the.
lately, there's been a
Nobody's
lot
gonna
of
enforce
cigarette
it,
butts
like
just
nobody
laying around, and that's
enforces
just
the stop
Hold on,
signs or
hold on.
speed
Too
limit.
many of you are talking at once. I'm sorry, Jared.
I said, we've had cigarette butts laying in the park, and that's just disgusting. So, I
And-
mean, have a designated area and have one of them little things you put your cigarette butts in.
And I don't disagree with that, and it'd be a lot easier for a 16-year-old to say, hey, by the way, just want to let you know the smoking area is over there. That's
Okay,
it.
where's the 16-year-old or an 18-year-old gonna tell somebody
In the
not
concession
to
stand.
smoke?
It's the workers.
It's the employee.
They're employees.
Over.
No, they're not.
Not
Our
always.
employees during the summer working concessions on weekends and tournaments are 16 to 18 years old.
Not their responsibility to tell somebody not to smoke anyway.
Then by putting the
Tell
ban
them
in
not to.
there, putting the ban in there has made it so that the adult will go to the concession stand where the employee of the village is, and that employee will be between 16 to 18 years old.
I'm gonna call Fergie.
Fergie can't always be here.
Sure he can. He's quite capable.
Anyway, I want to know if that changes anybody's view before we present
the-
this ordinance.
Did the state of Illinois ban smoking on their property?
Illinois
State
did.
property?
Yes, yes.
And can you smoke on your car and,
I don't believe so, but I don't know the specifics of that.
alright.
You can smoke in your car as long as you don't have a child in there now. Good.
I'm
I
pretty
don't-
sure you can, no matter where it's at, but I'll check into that and get back to you.
Yeah, if we ban it, Chris, it will not be allowable.
Why?
because that's what we're
Well,
banning.
we could put the same, whatever caveat the state of Illinois did, we could put in ours, and then if you wanna smoke, go smoke in your car. I'm sorry if we have employees that smoke, but first of all, it costs us a lot more money when they do. And I'm not gonna tell somebody they can't smoke, but that's, I
And
don't
here's
have
the
an
thing,
issue with
Chris,
saying you
we-
can't smoke on it.
I don't know that we do, but I don't think it's unfair to tell somebody they can't when that is still a lawful right they have.
Well, they can go smoke in their car, that's what I'm saying to you.
There's still enforcement in the park. How are you gonna enforce?
Well, you can, just like you can enforce somebody to stop at a stop sign. Ask the lady from
So when the-
Ogle Crossing.
so
You
when-
can't do it.
So why have the ordinance?
I don't know, why have the stop sign? It's the same thing. Why have the speed limit? Why put up a speed limit sign? Because we can't enforce them.
I would like, no,
The
but the
same
sheriff
thing.
can.
Yeah,
Huh?
the sheriff
The sheriff can.
All right,
Sheriff cannot enforce our smoking.
all right, so,
So, what is it that you would like that 16 to 18-year-old to say to that
nothing.
angry person?
I would say that to them, it's not their responsibility, and post a sign there, on the thing saying it's not the, the attendance at the.
Employees do not enforce smoking
But
bans.
that's not,
right, then
that's
you're-
not gonna
then you're
solve the
telling-
problem.
Did you
All
say-
you're gonna do is
telling-
anger
None of
the
this is
person.
solving a problem, because we're not gonna really be able to stop anybody from smoking on.
Right,
in the
Anybody
park.
that wants to violate
I could
what,
be there and I could tell them not to put it out, and they could just blow me off, and what am I gonna do?
anybody that's gonna violate a designated area, a designated boundary, or the ban altogether, if we completely ban it, is gonna do it regardless.
Yeah,
I don't disagree, but I don't think it's fair to put a 16 to 18-year-old
No, I
in a
don't.
position
We're
of
not.
enforcement.
I agree.
You
We just tell
are.
the 16 to 18-year-olds
are.
that they
no,
don't do
we're
it.
not.
Yeah,
not
but,
their-
but then all you're doing is angering the person, and so now they've got an angry, and then now they've got an angry, I can't say resident because they're not always residents. Now you have an angry attendant to our park who is then now upset that 16 to 18-year-old can't do anything about it, but we have an ordinance for it. So all you've done is anger the person when they can't when you say, I can't help
So we
you.
shouldn't have an ordinance because it might anger somebody because we can't
No.
enforce it?
No, we
No.
can have an ordinance, just not have the 16 or 18-year-old go up there and say, hey,
Oh, that's
can't
what I
be-
said. That's
No,
what I
we're
said.
saying-
yeah.
That's
but-
exactly what I
but
said.
what's the
But she thinks
alternative?
it's unfair because somebody
Who
might
are you
ask.
putting out there to handle that then?
Again, we're not going to enforce it. Nobody can.
Then what's the point of the ordinance?
What's the point of having speed limits?
With the sheriff's department can enforce that.
No, it is not totally different.
Sheriff Department can't
We have, how
They
many
can't
other
enforce
ordinances do we
our
have
ordinance. Yeah, they can't
that the
enforce
sheriff
ordinance.
cannot enforce? And who's going to? It's just basically all it is saying we don't want people to smoke. We're not enforcing it.
So this came up because one person had called because somebody was smoking near the bleachers, and instead of asking the person to move, they instead called a trustee and asked for this to be changed. And so
You think the person who's upset that somebody's smoking isn't gonna be upset even if there isn't a ban?
I don't even know that they're coming
The
back.
trustee can't, I can't even enforce it. I mean,
Right, exactly.
so, I mean, I'm not a police officer.
I have no problem with putting up the boundaries and putting up designated smoking areas, but we can't have teenagers trying to enforce it.
Yeah,
And so maybe the alternative isn't a smoking ban. Maybe the alternative is we create designated smoking
Well,
areas.
But
That's
again,
what I want.
But not ban it, but just suggest that people go to
but
these
again, that
areas.
same person that's gonna violate one's gonna violate all three.
It's a lot easier, to me at least, it would be a lot easier for a 16 to 18-year-old to say the smoking area is
I
right there,
wouldn't-
than to say
that's not their
it is, you need to put
responsibility
it out and
No.
leave.
No,
We shouldn't be putting
No,
them in that
no,
position.
but it's still, regardless of what you do, if we do anything on this, if we take any action, you are putting them in that position.
But they would have to answer that person that approaches.
Then
They
I'll
are.
tell you
They have
what,
to answer
then
that person.
for the one person
They
that's
couldn't
gonna
just
bother,
agree.
the one have them call me. Have them get my number.
That's what
Or give them my
started-
number.
This
I'm
all
gonna-
started
I'm
with-
okay with that.
I'm
This all
gonna tell them the
started
same
with
thing.
one person. In the years of running the park, this is the first time that I have seen I've been here since 2013, and this is the first time that I have seen a complaint.
Well, again, for the one person, tell the teenagers to give them my phone number. Keep my cards out there, hand them out, I'll take the call.
I've had people complain about smoking during the Easter egg hunt, the movie in the park, the people who smoke inside the Ball Diamond. And my thing is, a lot of times, I don't see it. You
Right.
know, 'cause I'm,
Even if you
You know,
do,
what are you gonna do?
and
Right.
that you tell them to put it out.
They're still gonna smoke, and
Yeah,
the
they're
But
movies, they
the
still
thing is,
smoke.
The thing is, at events like that, we can make an announcement, you know, folks, this is a non-smoking environment, we have a lot of children in the area.
Please.
Please be respectful of that.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
So after,
Make, you know,
Not around thump
announcement
people in the head
during-
because they're smoking.
well, after talking to Nate about this, that's why his suggestion was, doesn't do the ban. His suggestion was to just change the language to prohibit it within 15 feet of the shelter, the bleachers, the playground, the concession area. And that way we can sign up, you know, no smoking within 15 feet of here, which is politely asking the people to move. And to be honest, most people who read that will follow it. They'll
I
just
agree.
move the 15 feet. And so why don't we just do that instead of flat out banning, create the no smoking
Because
area and put signs up encouraging people to move in that direction, but it doesn't put the responsibility back on the teenager.
God, you keep going back to that. There's no
Because that
responsibility.
scares me.
Well,
That
but
No
scares me.
responsibility.
The one thing is, as soon as somebody's within 15 feet, that same angry person after 10 years is gonna walk up to the same teenager and say the same thing.
I disagree. I think that if there was a sign, that angry person is going to say there's a sign, and the smoker's going to leave. And to be honest, as a former smoker of many years, you're not doing it to be rude. You're doing it because you need it. And so if you need to move 15 feet
people who
away,
have-
you just move.
The people who have the respect will move away automatically.
Not
you know,
necessarily, because it's a
People who have
smoking park.
respect do.
Well, let's put up designated areas and put up a sign.
What does this board want to do? That's what I need to know.
That's
I'm
right.
okay with
I'm scared that-
designated areas
I'm fine
or,
with designated
boundaries and signs,
Well,
that's fine.
Yeah.
What? Go ahead. I don't care. Do whatever you like.
All right, I will change it to designated areas. Let's see how it goes for the summer. Let's see if we have any issues with it. Let's see if any of our employees have any issues with it. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, that was my smoking, man.
I got one thing for you, Sandy, about smoking, but did we ever get the burning policy ordinance done?
It died.
What?
It died.
It died.
Yeah, nobody wanted to take any further action on it. Oh, hold on.
No, you asked me if I
No,
wanted to.
that one's in Dan's hands. Burning,
Right.
sorry, yes, that one's in
The
Dan's
burning.
hands.
And
It was the other, the
Yeah,
It
first
died
one.
before, but
Talk to
it
me about it.
died this time.
Cause you asked me, what do you wanna burn, and I said,
Yes,
wood.
yeah, no, Dan has that one.
Okay,
So, nope, that one's in progress.
alright.
I forgot at the same time we had that one, we had the fees one, that
Yeah,
one
'cause
died.
you called me and asked
Yeah.
what, you know,
Yep.
it's okay to burn, and I was like, sticks and wood.
Yeah. So the last thing on here, a few weeks, well, on November 26th, you guys approved an ordinance updating the procedures on how we do citing for facility site approvals. After we passed that ordinance, David realized that it would create a massive amount of paperwork that would be required to be held by this village and by himself. And so, in working on the ordinance, he has made a few changes, which is the one in your packet, to kind of cut down on the paperwork. So everything is coming electronic and not 12 paper copies, those
Right.
types of things. So, are there any questions on that? It was in the board packet.
You wanna see it?
Yeah, that one. No, you might have to scroll down because you're, yeah,
Oh,
there you go.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just all the fancy language. So there's the First Amendment. So it's making it 12 copies. And then if you scroll down
Why
to,
is there so much paperwork? That's what I didn't understand.
because they require it.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. And so, so Section A is making it 12 copies, but Section C is then making, electronic.
Those 12 copies electronic or?
I believe so.
I just think it's funny how they had all the way down, you know, you had
Yeah.
A, B, C, D, E, F, and then you have section 3, conflict, and there's.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
We don't even have a big.
Yeah, so it's simply, it's just the dark wording is the changes. Are there any questions on that? All right, I'm gonna,
We can review the questions next week, this gives them time to review it, and,
consent agenda?
well,
So here's the thing, I'm gonna put it on the consent agenda. If somebody has questions, pull it next week, and David will be here to give a more in-depth answer. However, you've already approved the ordinance, this is just making those simple changes. So, and I think that's all I have.
Brenda?
Okay, I have, amendment to the personnel policy. In January of 2014, we had, the board at that time made a motion to change the employee handbook to pay double time for part-time and seasonal employees for Sundays and holidays on snow events. It was never put into our employee manual, so that's what this ordinance is going to do.
Another one right there.
Update the manual to
On snow events or holidays?
Snow events.
It's on Sundays and holidays in snow events.
So another thing that just never got added after we approved
In
it.
our personnel
Not me.
handbook.
Well, no,
Wasn't
it
you.
was before you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
2014
I said
is-
January 2014.
I-
In our manual, it already says full-time employees during,
Oh, I get full-time
Yeah.
employees getting overtime,
But
I don't
seasonal-
get part-time employees getting.
No, it was,
part-time and seasonal employees, if they work.
Seasonal I
snow-
get, part-time I don't.
In seasonal,
well, I
No.
think,
This,
if they're working in snow events,
yeah.
snow events only.
They're
Well, have they
plowing.
been at 40 hours?
No, that would be
Yeah,
part-time.
no,
Part-time people don't
no,
work 40 hours.
that's
why I
not
didn't get that.
accurate. So we do have some seasonal part-time employees who may work at that time, who have working 40 hours even during the winter.
Yeah,
They
but
may not work
just-
40 hours other time of the
This
year.
is just to add it to the manual, not to discuss the wording.
It's
Well,
simply, the
it is.
motion's already been passed, so if you guys
Right.
choose to
We'd have
make
to-
another
we'd have to
motion to
read it.
change it.
We're just updating.
Yeah.
All we're doing is updating the
Yeah,
manual.
but the
So that's all.
reason-
We'll make sure we stay on what the,
We're
Yeah.
updating the
what this
manual
is.
to
Yeah, yeah.
reflect
I'm
If
confused.
the motion's
Yeah.
been passed, why do we have to go through it again?
to update the
This
manual.
is just putting it in the manual.
so,
And
we
technically, I don't
we
know that
approved this resolution back in January 2014.
No,
Yes,
Yes.
no. You made a motion back in 2014. No resolution or ordinance was passed.
Oh, it wasn't passed, as she said it was.
No.
Oh.
Can you read the language I've had highlighted there, word for word, please? That might help.
Rick makes a motion to change the employee handbook to pay double time to part-time and seasonal employees on Sundays and holidays for all snow events, and retro pay employees paid to reflect or change starting on December 1st. Jason second.
Motion passed. It was
Right.
done by a motion, not by a resolution or an ordinance. Back then, before me and you took office, things weren't done in paper format, and so the change never got made to the employee handbook. But I was explaining to Chris the reason for that motion was because we had a seasonal, part-time employee that worked on Christmas plowing.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with seasonal people. I have a problem with part-time.
They're both.
Pretty much
They're
the
the
same,
same
same people. I mean,
Well,
they're
seasonal,
just
not necessarily. Seasonal people can work 40 hours a week. Is that not correct?
part-time people can't.
Part-time can work 40 hours a week too,
How do you be part-time and only work 40
Because
hours a week?
because it's your hours total cumulative over the year.
Yes.
Oh, well, if they work over 40 hours a week, then I'd say yeah. If not, I'd say no.
Well, no, that's what it is.
Well, no.
Is it
it's
worded like
Oh,
that?
no,
It does-
no,
it
no,
sure
it's not what
doesn't
it
seem
is.
like
They
it's worded.
No,
they
it's
are
not what
here
it is.
to stay, and they're here 8 hours, they get paid double time.
Yeah, and I
Even if they don't
think
have 40
that part-time people shouldn't get paid overtime if they're not
Full-time
here.
people get paid
It's-
40 hours, or double time too.
Right, after
makes it
40 hours a
equal.
week.
No.
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 this-
No,
this
they
is
get paid
strictly-
double time
If you're
if they
working on
come
a
in.
holiday, it's double time.
Yep. For Sunday. In snow events.
Even if you have only put in 5 hours in the
Yes.
Yes.
week?
Yeah. Take, for example, last week. They plowed on New Year's Eve and maybe New Year's Day.
No need.
New Year's Eve. They had not put in 40 hours by the time that occurred. They
No.
still get snow time for that.
I think that's ridiculous, but okay. That's me.
Well,
You know, I
So-
it's been like that for a long time.
Technically, the motion and
Okay.
you just wanna do it by resolution now.
Yes, I just need it put in paper.
So we already pay that. We
We
already
do.
do
We
that.
already do
We
that.
already have that in practice. We've done it for 5 years.
We already-
You
We
won't
just
wanna
need a
put that
res-
on the
yeah.
consent
So
agenda.
put it this way, we already passed it by motion. What she wants to do now is have it done by resolution so we can put it in the employee handbook.
I will put that separately underneath.
Correct?
Yes, I'll put it separately underneath Brenda, Rick, Chris, as to that not be on the consent agenda.
Okay. Anything else?
I was just gonna say, I know.
Hello?
I think the one reason for this also is to be fair to all the employees that are coming out on Christmas Day to work, or,
No, that's
you know,
a,
Thanksgiving.
if they're required to, then I see that's fine. If they're not required to, then I would say no.
well, they,
And that's a choice you make
they are
yourself.
called, they're called in for
That's
snow
what I
events.
just said. If
Yeah.
they're required to, then I
Right.
get it.
Oh, Well, they're not just showing up to work.
Right,
you know.
we're not-
Called is one thing, required is another. If I can reject
When there's a
it
snow
and say,
event-
I don't want to come in
When-
on
no.
Christmas, then I'm not going to. That's my difference.
Right, but, so you're saying though that I can force an employee to work on Christmas, seasonal or part-time, whatever you wanna call them?
I'm saying if you require somebody to show up
That's
on
me making a
Christmas-
phone call.
Right.
You're coming in to plow.
Is it? Can they turn you down?
Yeah, anybody can, any of my
Well,
employees
that's
can
what
turn me
I'm
down.
saying. I'm saying, what if you call me and I'm unavailable to work? Am I getting fired?
No.
So they could turn you down. If you're required to come,
Absolutely, yes, they can turn me
if you're
down.
required to come, then you should get paid.
So he's saying if you're required, double time, if you're not required, not.
If an employee is on call, we are required to pay them on-call time.
I get it.
We do not
Which
have,
is
these employees are
No, I
not.
understand that too. I'm
Yeah,
familiar with
yeah,
on-call.
These
pay time.
employees are not on call. So in order as an incentive, so Fergie doesn't get turned down by every single one of his employees, this is what is done.
I understand.
So that we have people who are willing to come.
I understand. It's not gonna change the way I'm gonna vote.
No, that's fine, but you said, why can't, if they're on call, we don't need to pay them. They're not on call.
I didn't say on-call. You did. I said if they're required to come in, that was the difference.
on call, that's not.
No, it's not. It's not the same thing.
Yes, it is.
No.
But the regular employees,
Clearly, have you ever been on call? Because when I'm on call, I'm required, if they call me, to come in. It's mandatory. There's no choice in the matter.
All right.
So they
Well,
they
that's
pay
why
me.
if we
And
have.
they're
our-
That's why they pay you on the on-call money.
Yes, we don't pay the on-call money.
Because we don't have on.
We don't have
we do
on-call,
We do have on-call.
but we do. But
Up
that's
in the
different,
morning.
yeah.
That's different than.
Yeah, it's different. We don't have on-call for snow events.
I understand.
So there's no on-call pay.
I get that.
So we can't require somebody to be around.
But, okay, just to clarify, it's his stance, and this has
No,
nothing
and
to do
that's
with it.
fine.
That if they're required, he's okay with the double time. If they're not required, if they can refuse you, that it shouldn't be double time. Is that correct?
That's my thing.
Okay.
Okay, I was
That's
listening
all-
to that,
that's
I
all
was
he's
listening
saying.
to that backwards, that you were saying if they're
No.
required to be here, but they're not required to be here.
I'm the
Nobody's
interpreter.
Thanks.
All right. Anything further?
No,
All right. Matt?
you're on.
Still working.
Yep.
Red? Hello?
You're there.
You're on.
Working.
You're here.
That's-
You're coming through.
John Harris.
Hi, John.
Hello.
Okay. First page, these are just, project carryovers for next year. As soon as we get the final restoration stuff, those will be closed out, the Plat 10 Phase 1 and the Plat 10 Phase 2. Nothing with the, Route 72 sidewalks. The next several, Corey's, been getting with, Chris and Brett on some potential projects. I've listed them here. The Autumnwood, connection between, Harvest Glen and Ogle Crossings. My understanding, I think that was actually kind of designed and pulled out of last year's project, but Corey's updating the project cost for that, for just the roadway portion of it. The concrete ditch to the old wastewater treatment plant, that's just, kind of a grass ditch area that's kind of a maintenance issue, so they're looking at a couple different, ditch widths and sections for the ditch, just to kind of reduce, some of the maintenance with it. The Pacific Avenue culvert modifications, they're still assessing, kind of the separation of the pipes and some of the lost material on what they want to do to either replace or rehabilitate the culverts there. The North Junction Road, seal coat, blacktop and widening, looking at several options there for widening, seal coating, North Junction Road, north of High Road. And then the microservicing, looking at various streets, in the village. I did take a look at that map I think Corey sent to Chris and Brett. It looked like a lot of the streets, just at glancing, had been,
Just a small section that hasn't been at least, microsurfaced one time, besides the new stuff.
right. So, from a microsurfacing standpoint, it looked like actually in pretty decent shape, throughout the village, so. Park pond modifications, no update there. Nothing with the water main to the maintenance building. Like I said, those will be closed out, next year. The water rate study, I just put in there from our discussion from last, month. I think the last thing I remember was consideration of possibly a quarter per thousand gallon increase on both water and sewer, but I don't know if there's any more discussion at any meeting.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, we went ahead and I don't remember the meeting after the December 3rd committee of the committee's meeting. I believe the following board meeting, we actually did, did we do a quarter, did we do 50 cents?
It would have
We
been
did
on the,
Quarter on each
quarter
side.
on each.
it would
so
have been
it's-
four,
50 cents, yep.
So we did a quarter on the waste, on the sewer, on the water as well.
Okay,
So starting as of January 1. Yeah, and $1 on commercial.
okay. Sounds good. I will, if it's everybody's okay, I'm gonna remove that one
That is
since,
perfectly
since we made a decision.
Happy to do
and it was
so.
passed on the tenth.
I know you don't do streets, Matt, but
Yep.
how long, do you happen to know how long microsurfacing lasts? Is it 6 or 7 or 5?
I think Corey, indicated, 7 to 10 is the general for the microsurfacing, kinda in that range.
So I look at it that, the Verizon tower, they didn't give you a date when they're gonna take it down.
David,
Yeah, on that one, I was gonna ask, can that be removed? Is there,
We're still getting paid since it's up there.
as long as it's up there, we should be getting paid.
They still send us checks, but I've been advised to hold the checks and not cash them, as that shows that if I cash them, then it shows that we still want it, so I have not cashed 2 months' checks. But they're still sending me checks.
Well,
And they
David-
know that. They know that, right?
That we're not cashing them? Probably doubt that very much.
Or well,
I
no,
bet
that
they would
they're
know
sending
that.
us checks, but we want it
Not a
gone.
big enough corporation.
I
That's a
don't know.
tiny little spot in the
Yeah,
middle.
it's for when they go to court, to say, okay, we told them we
We're
want them to
taking
remove it, we
Right.
haven't been cashing in their checks, we want them to remove it.
Yep.
Right.
They were taking our
Exactly.
money, so we left it there.
do you want me to keep it
No.
on my list, just to keep it in your forefront?
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I'm really not
David-
doing much with it,
I
it's
know
more of a
David
legal
talked about
issue.
when he can get their lawyers to actually respond.
And this Wisconsin Independent Network fiber optic construction, we're not doing that, right? We're not doing that?
No.
Yes, yes,
Oh, that one is.
yes.
That's not us.
Yes, the only,
That's not the one us doing to the water tower.
yeah,
Well, it is.
Right.
yeah, that's going out north of town. Now, the only thing, there's really nothing since last month. We asked for additional information, I haven't seen anything come back. Yes. Okay,
I am working between Matt, Dan, and David on making sure that we're complying with our right-of-way ordinance that we have, but this is, going north out of town, it's just a third-party contractor and doing the
Okay.
That's not the one that they wanted to,
Share with us?
yeah,
No.
alright.
Yes, well,
Well, it's part of it, but not us being involved.
That was different.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fiber optic, fiber eye, or whatever they call it, you know.
Right.
separate lines, same
iFiber.
Separate
Yeah,
project.
fiber,
separate project.
yep.
this is fiber optic.
So I'll keep that one on the list until it gets approved then. And that's all I've got.
All right. One to the committees, community development and events.
Since we were just talking about projects, I have a request. I've noticed that I think we really need to put some type of street light in the 10-acre park by the parking lot.
There isn't a light there already?
No,
Wow, never even thought about that.
Where's this at?
the 10-acre park,
Yeah.
the parking lot, because when there's, practices and stuff going on and it's getting dark and I've seen vehicles parked in there and it's pitch black, you have no idea what's going on.
Do we,
Especially if you have tinted windows.
do we do that, or do we have to comment?
Microphone, please tell me the name of the mic that park closed at dusk.
Parks close at dusk.
Thank you.
Parks
I
close
know
at
they
dusk.
close at dusk, but people
Well,
don't always.
Do we have a sign for that?
I think there is. Maybe not on the small one.
For security, it
Do we
would
get
be
one
nice
there?
to have
I'm just
be nice
saying
to have
there's,
a light anyway.
Right, it would keep people from sitting back in the back corner of that parking lot in the pitch black.
Just out of curiosity, is that something we put up or something ComEd puts up and?
That's why I'm asking, 'cause I didn't know.
We would do it.
That's
get
why I
to
figured I'd throw it in when Matt got
We get
here.
to
Once you
choose.
get
ComEd will
ComEd
give us
involved,
two
you pay
prices.
them forever.
Yeah,
That's why I
ComEd will
figured
give us
I'd bring
two
it up when
prices
Matt
on
was
it.
here.
Oh, we have to pay for the electricity anyway, right?
You get one of them.
Yeah, that's
free
something we
price
can,
ones.
is that something that the board or the committee would like me to let Nate know to look at
Well,
for?
that's why I didn't know where it
Yeah,
would
yeah.
belong with, that's why I figured Matt,
Yeah,
or if
it would
was
be,
a park
it would be
project.
Nate. Yeah, Matt
Because, I
wouldn't
mean,
have
if
anything
we
to
put
do
up
with
an
it.
LED light, it won't use much power at all. We can put it up.
You can get one of them solar ones that's pretty bright.
I would be in favor of a light.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just
I think
think
a
it's
light
something
and
that
a-
John?
needs to be
and a
done.
sign there.
John?
John, what do you think?
Yeah, what was the question?
Chris wants you to put up a light in the 10-acre park
Chris?
parking lot.
No, Jen.
Jen
Yeah.
does.
Jen,
Wants me to put up a what?
A light in
A
the
light.
10-acre park by the parking lot, it's pitch black there.
A sign that says closed at dusk.
Yeah, that's, well, you mean a ComEd install type of light, or you mean we, our own?
Something, we gotta look into something.
I'll ask, if John's okay with it, I'll ask Nate to look at what the options are in the.
John, you okay with Sandy
That's fine.
asking Nate?
Yeah, have Sandy get with Nate. You guys
All
are
right.
really hard to hear, but yeah, have Sandy get with Nate on that.
Okay.
I'm an interpreter tonight.
Thanks, John.
Okay. Anything further, Jen?
Yes, I do.
Anytime, Chris.
We, need to discuss when, like, what dates we wanna do, movie in the park. If we, this last year, we did 2. Obviously, we decide when we wanna do the fireworks. If July 3rd works, do we wanna do that again? 'Cause that's like a Friday night, correct?
Yeah,
Yes,
Friday.
So look at
That'd be fantastic.
Yep.
doing July 3rd, and then if we wanted to do, another movie in June,
So in June, the weekends are the.
You said
6th.
July 3rd?
That's Friday.
That's a Friday.
Yeah.
Did you want, are we doing fireworks
that's why
on
I
the
said I don't know,
4th?
that's why I'm asking what people wanna do.
Okay, so people need to decide what the fireworks are before we decide
Before
the
we do the
movie.
movie.
I thought the only time we did the fireworks the day before is if it didn't fall on a weekend.
Weekend, right.
Yes,
All right,
Right.
yes.
all right.
But you will get less of a display for the same amount of money on the 4th.
We get the same
Well, you
amount of
know,
money, same
the thing with the
display.
fireworks, though, if a lot of other communities are having them, we may or may not wanna do them at the same time.
Well, and another thing that we have to look at is conflicting schedules we always have with softball too. As if they're starting games Friday night, how late those games are going compared to usually Saturdays, they go a little bit further because of,
And I feel bad to say
Time.
this, I say, if we decide to use something in our park for our village,
Right.
then we trump softball. I'm sorry.
3rd or 4th, what do you guys think?
Hold on one second.
Third.
Third.
Oh, what?
One thing to think about, if you pick one date, we should talk to whoever we need to and make sure that date's available for
Right.
the fireworks.
right, that's why.
So like a first choice would be this one, or that one.
Yeah,
Jared's
my
third.
first choice would be the 3rd.
What do you
Chris?
think, Chris?
It makes no difference to me, whatever you want.
John,
Go ahead.
would you rather see the fireworks and movie on Friday, July 3rd, or Saturday, July 4th?
Well, where will we be in the least amount of competition, the 3rd or the 4th?
Third.
3rd.
What was the consensus, the 3rd?
We're not done yet.
We're not done, 'cause we have to get a hold of fireworks people too.
Either one's fine, being a Friday or Saturday night, people are gonna probably show up,
Jen?
so.
I can't understand a word he said.
He
He
said,
said either one.
Yeah, I'd rather.
I'm good with either one.
Personally, I would.
So let's
do
see if the
third.
3rd's available.
and I think for the movie side, the 3rd would be fine.
Are we
Right.
gonna go with the same company with fireworks?
Yes, I would like to.
Because it was kinda funny at IML that Mad Bomber said that they'd give us more fireworks than what they do.
Yeah, but
We
these
go
guys
back
are
with
local.
But you know
They were
what?
great.
I like the fact that these people are local.
Me too.
And I know them.
No, I like what they're doing.
All right.
And
I
I,
told-
If they would've, they would've done
And I
it the
can
day
Because
before.
I told them my
Yeah,
I
Star
agree
fireworks
with
show
you.
is fantastic.
All right,
now.
see if 3rd's
Yeah.
available. If not, we'll go back and revisit it.
Do you
all
want
right.
A second.
I got an idea for
second
that.
movie?
Second movie
You
in
know,
June?
like they had that water, whatever stand, get a couple of them.
they're pretty great to work with.
I mean, get a couple of them stands, so, I mean, the session stand ain't so long. Pop and water and whatever, and popcorn or whatever. Have a couple of them little stands sitting,
Yeah, we talked about
I'll talk
stuff
to him.
last year, so,
Let's talk to him.
yep, we'll work it
He
out.
doesn't probably know.
because they had one there right next to the concession stand. but I think it should be spread out, maybe 2 of them, spread them out.
Well, I suggested that they set up
Rental
one of the
trailer.
gators and drive around. That was one of my suggestions.
If they have enough people to work.
Oh, they had plenty of people.
I mean,
Right. I even said I would have been willing to go and,
Get double on the slush machines, 'cause people are waiting for that for 45 minutes, so.
cause it wasn't
icing.
freezing.
What?
It wasn't freezing fast
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Jen.
What else? Do you wanna do a second movie?
Yeah, and then, do we wanna do a second movie, or would be the
Ju-
first
June-
one in June?
Junior Saturday, that'd be the 6th.
The sixth, right, would be the first Saturday.
And then if it worked last year, if we
Yeah.
cancel, we can move it to
We went to August.
Yeah, we'll just, don't have a problem, just kinda get it out there early that,
Right, well, it works easier because I got a catalog already and I
When
can.
is, last day of school this year?
the 22nd?
Yeah, I think 22nd.
April.
I don't, yeah, not even there. Sorry.
I have snow days maybe.
June.
I'm okay with the weather we've got right now through the
and
rest of
then-
the winter.
I have a save the date, I've already scheduled the Easter egg hunt for April 4th. So that's my save the date.
Are you gonna do, community service hours for the kids then?
Yep.
What about filling the eggs too? Or no?
I usually, a bunch of them goes to Grace Fellowship because they
Oh,
do, youth, but I'm willing to work with whatever, so.
Alright,
I think that's it for me.
All right. Finance is not here. Ordinance enforcement.
no, it's been pretty quiet.
Parks. John, you have anything?
No, I'm good, Rick, thank you.
Streets?
As,
You're right here.
as Matt said, we have, several potential projects, you know, that, the board should probably start thinking about. Hey, thanks, appreciate that. The extension, or whatever you wanna call it, of Autumn Wolf to make it go through, where we did the water, you know, I personally think that we need to put the road through so that there's an alternative entrance and exit from, Ogle Crossings if anything happens in the front. It also helps on everything else, you know, bus routes, plowing, and, any emergency vehicles that need to come through if there is a problem.
If we did create green space on either side of that road, you could use it for snow storage.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go. Or, you know, even a neighborhood
Right,
park as far as
don't we
I'm
have to
concerned.
put the water?
If we have a big snow like we did a few years ago.
We already put the water through. The sewer's not a necessity. The engineer,
Loop now?
the water is looped.
The water's looped, so
Sewer
that,
is not.
that was the biggest thing we needed to get.
Engineers told me, that the sewer wasn't necessary to loop, that it provided no additional,
Did it go uphill?
so that wasn't an issue. There was some discussion, they did ask about possibly, you know, someday putting in bathrooms, but I think that's so far away that it's not really a consideration for something that we don't even know what we're going to do with. If we do someday make it into a neighborhood park, I don't see an issue with, you know, people going home because it's a neighborhood park. They're probably not living that far away where we're gonna put in permanent bathrooms or, porta potty like we have in the 10-acre. I'm sure that if we're ever gonna put bathrooms in, it would first go into the 10-acre. That's one of the considerations. I personally think that we should probably do that this year. The other is the, one of the others, there were 5 altogether. One of the others is putting, concrete, for the low flow, through the ditch that goes past Autumn Wolf, to the berm, what's the name of that retention pond portion? Yeah, well, it goes, there's like a retention area for it, and then it runs past and through where the old, and then out to Junction Road. Except for that water sits in there quite often. In fact, when we went around to look at it,
This area?
yes, that is the area. At the side near Autumn Wolf, when I went to look at it with the engineers, there was actually standing water at the time, and there was a dead rabbit in the water. And I can't think that's a good thing to have. Standing water breeds mosquitoes and diseases, and if we've got dead animals in it, it can't really be a great idea. And the flow, there's not much of a fall going out as it goes past Junction Road.
Over here?
Yeah. where it goes underneath in that box culvert. There's not much fall there at all, and there's almost constantly standing water. Does it ever dry out?
No, not to the east there.
Yeah.
It's to the west
Here?
we're talking about,
Here
to the
or
west.
here?
No,
No.
Junction Road, other side of the junction.
Other side of Junction, to the
Right
west.
there,
All
yeah.
that right there.
You said,
Well-
you said east.
The old wastewater plant, Rick.
Well, it depends on where you're at.
Yes.
East is always east, west is always east.
Yes, but
that right
where,
there.
where you're going east from. I mean,
Yes,
the Autumn Wolf starts, way back.
Back there.
Yeah,
Almost back here.
yeah. So it would start right there, right? That's where actually I saw the rabbit in the water, and there was probably,
Right here, Rick.
Yeah, there was probably.
We're gonna start right here, and it's gonna go down, and then come across, and then follow down here. This is already done.
Right,
Well, and I was gonna say right there too, I wanna say that grass has to get about 6 feet.
There's some areas in there where there's like a 4-foot trench cut in that we can't mow.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
it's pretty bad. Yep.
as you get down towards, Junction Road, there's constantly standing water. At the time that we looked at it, in quite a bit of the summer, there was water all the way up to the Autumn Wolf section. But there's almost constantly water at the bottom because there's no fall. So we probably need to put a low flow,
Have we
wide
shot this
ditch.
before to know what the fall is from like here to here and from here to here?
No, not from the north, because that's already got a concrete channel in it,
Right.
so that flows perfectly fine. We don't ever have standing water there.
Well,
It's been about 6 years ago, we attempted to grade the curve there from Junction Road back, yeah, right, that area right there. We attempted to grade that and redo that. Actually, Luke Willett Hoffman came out, shot it for us, gave us elevations and everything. It is so flat that
But one
we just
point-
couldn't even grade it.
At one point, we talked about straightening it out.
Oh, okay, that I didn't, yeah.
But the only reason I asked if it was shot from here, well, probably like here to here, and even from here to here, because if this is close to this height, you're gonna have a hell of a time trying to get that thing to fall.
Right.
Whereas if otherwise you could bring it all down.
Yeah.
Depending on what, I don't know how much distance there is.
Yeah,
That's what I
there's
thought.
there's quite a bit there, yeah. Yep. I mean, like I said, the water moves. It goes through there, it just, you have a lot that sits. I mean, the bulk of the water moves through there, when we get the heavy events and everything.
Yeah.
But like Chris is saying, this is that lower flow, the problems that we've had all throughout the subdivision.
Right.
I mean, we're all well aware of those issues.
well, in this case,
Um,
it's mostly about mosquitoes and,
Yeah, because that area I was just talking about that we graded, Rick, for example, that is nothing, it never dries anymore. It is now cattails, and it does not dry out anymore. Those days are
We've talked
gone.
about straightening this out since you've been here.
Nope, not to my knowledge
we
anyway.
didn't consider that though. But then you kinda waste a lot of property. That's our property, right?
Yes,
Yes.
that is
Yeah,
correct.
I mean, I don't know if there's any future plan for that area, but if you did straighten it out, which would seem to probably be, an option, which we haven't discussed with anybody, but you're gonna waste a lot of property. That's a pretty decent sized
You
area.
either straighten it out.
Can you do
or
anything
bring
with
it
that
along this side.
after the water treatment plant was there? That doesn't
That
preclude you?
doesn't-
it's all been cleaned up.
All right.
We took
Yep.
the sludge out of the
right.
lagoon.
This one belongs to us, this one belongs to the country.
And we took the sludge out of the lagoons and got rid of it, and then we just basically backfilled the lagoons in, so.
Didn't they give that to us though?
I believe it's still on my country,
The piece to the north we did,
This one,
the triangle.
Just that one? Okay,
this one they still own.
okay.
This one, they were going to give it to us if we ever had to expand the lagoon. Then the state of Illinois came out and said, you can't expand lagoons.
And do they own those, or those empty lots are too, or those are?
Yes,
Those are theirs.
They own those too?
yes.
Cause there's no houses built on them yet.
Well, they were going to, but then they took them out.
I don't, what is that area zoned for? Do you know?
This?
Residential.
No, the in between the houses where it's part of the plat and
Right there.
actually where the, oh, yeah, that, right where you got the marker on there, what's that? I know, what's it zoned?
They hay,
Should be residential.
I was gonna say, they cut it and hay, and bale the hay on it.
I was just wondering if we're never, we're not gonna let them build on that, houses, like as a, I mean, it's not part of the plat.
I mean, originally, like Rick said, when we were looking at trying to expand the lagoon there, they actually had in that area that he was pointing to, Chris, what is that, Golden Prairie actually went through to a cul-de-sac there, so they actually, on that open property there, they had actually lots laid out for it. And then they reconfigured their subdivision there and not have Golden Prairie go through when they were thinking about dedicating that property to the village for the treatment plant expansion. I mean, we did look at one time, maybe bringing Golden Prairie all the way through, and basically there's a couple lots there that, they would lose, but the roadway would go through and you could still put lots on either side.
All right.
And that's where, it would be, if you ever did anything with it, I agree, even though with the drainage, it'd be nice for the drainage to be straight, like Rick had pointed out, but if you are going to develop it, you'd want to probably keep that drainage ditch where it's at. If that roadway would go through there, then it gives you some developable property.
That was the parcel there was talk about one time, the old wastewater. There was talk one time about donating to the fire department if they would build an ambulance house down there, or it would be on that side of the tracks, where if there was an emergency, they could actually respond. That blew up into ugliness.
Yep.
Well,
The zoning map's turned on, so that is residential.
well, if you cut the ditch through the middle, you would pretty much take most of the property.
Wouldn't you have to raise the road though because of the drainage if you put a road through there?
Culverts.
Yeah, you'd probably raise it a little bit so you can get, depending on if it's just gonna be a rural section like the rest of Harvest Glen, you'd wanna make sure the roadway's up enough that you can cut in some ditches and get it in there, so.
Sorry, I got you sidetracked. Anyway, that's one of the projects, and that would be mostly for mosquito abatement and to keep diseases down, any that we might get from dead animals or the like. Another potential project for this year or the coming years is the, road that leads into, what's the name of that road? The one that leads into the,
Junction Way.
yeah, Junction Way? Yep. It's
Oh,
not in the greatest shape, and we probably should be redoing that in the next year or two. We also, have an issue with, North Junction Road, which is, past what we've already done to it, is hard to maintain. Would that be an accurate description?
Yes, absolutely.
The problem with North Junction is that, it's basically part ours, part the townships, and then the city of Rockford. So, we have sections, did we figure out that we had 2 sections left that we haven't done? 2 of our sections?
If you
Can't-
figure in township, I guess technically it would be 3.
3 of ours? I thought, did we do 1 portion of ours? Or did we only go to a certain,
We stopped at High Road,
all right.
yes.
So we either have 2 or 3 sections of ours that need to be, there's 2 sections of the township and then the village, the city of Rockford would have a section. I don't wanna fix ours until we could work something out with either the, township or the township and the city of Rockford so that we could just do the whole thing at one time on whatever process we decide to take. And I was wondering if we could work on, and this is more for Sandy, a letter to the township and the city of Rockford, maybe where we could enter into an intergovernmental agreement to, go ahead.
Sandy says yes.
Yeah. I saw the smile on her face that she was very happy about it. Brett's tried to work with the township, but have you gotten any response?
Voicemail is full.
Yeah, but I figured that we should probably send them a letter, both of them, to see if either are interested in it. If neither are, then, if and when we do decide to do something for North Junction, then maybe we could get an intergovernmental agreement with the township where we could do the tar and, what's the term for that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we seal coat it.
Right, seal coat it, which is the tar and the rocks. But we do theirs too, but not saying that we're taking over their portion, because it makes no sense to do it for a section, have a section, and that, according to Corey, was relatively inexpensive for us to do it from ours to where the city of Rockford picks up.
But that's not including the widening though.
No, that wasn't including, that was just
Correct.
going the cheapest route
Yes.
that we could, and
Correct.
I can't remember the amount that he told me. Was it?
I think we did this section out here, correct me if I'm wrong, it was like $22,000 for 2 lifts, I think it was, or a single lift. It's cheap.
Yeah, it
Very
was
cheap.
what the price that he quoted me, and I can't remember exactly what it was relatively inexpensive for us to do even, the portion of the townships. I wasn't really planning on that this year, but it really depends on, how the board, what projects the board thinks we would like to take on. What was the 5th one? I can't remember what the
Are you
fifth
still
one-
interested in getting that property behind, Public Works Building?
Well, absolutely, because as we've talked before, not to drag this out, we've had this discussion 100 times, but I have got to do something with salt storage. I've got to get more salt storage.
No, salt storage to me is one of the higher priorities because
So
that's
the-
something that affects public safety.
We can buy the property behind the existing Public Works Building, square up the property there, where the rail spur used to be.
We've gotten a price on that?
Yes. We had one, but we probably have to have it updated.
What are we talking about?
It was, I think, about mid-20s, upper 20s.
Oh, all right.
I was not part of those, that was still
I want to say it was 26.
another employee.
That's never come to mind.
I don't know, maybe we can get maybe we,
I said, right now, my main concern is I struggle with salt storage, being able to get it, get salt in. I mean, because if our winter continues like this, if, for example, we won't be able to use up all the salt that we ordered, and I don't have anywhere to put it. So, not that we will, we got a lot of winter left, but just giving you an example. We struggle with that a lot.
Well, we had talked about that too.
no,
after
and
we
that
rid
that
of
is one,
pressure.
was
So, yes,
It's right here.
I
Well, we
thought that
talked
would
about
be
getting
one
rid
that
of
would be
pressing
a year or two down the road.
unit, and
But
we'll
also
have
putting
to
up a
get that
salt
truck
storage
something
shed
that as well.
wouldn't just be the piece
Yeah,
of
using
property,
that for
it would
other
be in
things.
So we can get the property, we could do
Right.
both. I mean, just.
Right.
It's something
Right.
to think about, because that thing that's out at the,
I was
thing
considering
that's out at
that,
the wastewater plant's just way too small.
I was considering that in 2 years out or 3 years out as opposed to this year, the coming year. The other portion was doing the last small section that we had of micro surfacing, but I didn't know if that was really economical with such a small area that we could actually get that done.
It would kind of depend on if the contractor is
Happens to
in
be
the area.
In the area.
Yes,
Yeah, all right.
because
Well-
mobilization would be pretty bad if they're not.
That would relatively be inexpensive too, assuming they could mobilize and
Yeah.
were in the area and could stop by to do that small section.
That's a one-day job for them.
Yeah, yeah. And that was about it. We'll actually bring some detailed, proposals at the next, committee of the committees meeting. You've been working on that? No, so, I'm sorry. Brett,
The proposals,
uh,
I've contacted
yeah,
I
that's,
mean,
okay, all right.
yes.
Otherwise for streets and ditches unless somebody else says. Oh, there was one other thing. We're looking at, Pacific Avenue.
Yes.
I forgot about that, Pacific Avenue, where we had, and we actually had a quote and the possibility of doing it when they were out here, but, things changed a tad. Did you have,
Yes, I hadn't had a chance. I was waiting for tonight to talk to you. I met with Corey either Friday, I don't know, my weeks get run together, but I just met with him the other day, showed him what we were talking about. He's gonna come back with several options, running the single, running a double like you and I talked, or doing a box culvert. So he's gonna give us multiple options for that, and we can talk about it then.
yeah, but that probably shouldn't be so much that it would, be a major concern.
As, talking dollar amount?
Yeah.
It's just gonna depend. I mean, if we go with the box culvert, it'll be a little more.
We'll get back to you on that one in the next,
But
in 2
we
weeks
wouldn't have
from
to
now
touch it
today,
for
too.
years.
All right, all right. Other than that, that's all I got.
Thank
Okay.
God.
Utilities?
You have updates on the well? Yeah,
I think Sandy, you guys, I think you touched on this last week when I was not here. So, and Matt, I don't know if I gave you, I was kind of in a rush there, so I don't know if you have the correct ones. Basically, the drawings. So municipal was kind enough to come out. If you remember, I told you they were gonna charge us $1,000 to come out. We discussed that. They did not charge us.
Oh, wow.
They came out and basically ran a vibration test again. As you can see, you've got the paperwork in front of you. So for the most part, the The vibration has been cut, as you can see in the little diagram, little drawing here, about in half. So, to answer everyone's question, no, we don't know what was causing it, what is still causing the slight vibration. It is much, much better than it was. The wall no longer vibrates on the building. But we have no clue. I was there every minute when Cahoy pulled it. There were no marks, there was nothing. I mean, it looked fine. And speaking with Cahoy as they were going through all the parts, they didn't, according to them, have to do anything.
So then do we just move forward with what it is now?
That
and leave it
is,
be?
yes, basically, when I talked with municipal, I mean, right now, everybody is comfortable with the way it's running.
Everything's working, it's just.
Oh, yeah, no, yes, absolutely. Are we gonna have issues down the road a year from now? I have no idea. Nobody does, nobody will give me, we don't know. Municipal doesn't know, Cahoy doesn't know, we don't know.
It's not gonna matter, 'cause until something breaks, you're not gonna
We're
really
not
know
gonna
what's
know
wrong.
it.
You got it,
Right.
that's exactly right, Chris,
All right.
yes. So, I know it's not much information for you, but no one has any information.
It's better.
We have, between Jason Vose, myself, Cahoy Municipal, I mean, we have talked it to death trying to figure out, what is going on, so, but really, that's about it, so Sandy would like to.
What are we doing with the Cahoy invoice?
We agreed to pay it.
Yes, we did.
Do we have another option?
We agreed to pay it if
They didn't find anything wrong.
if they, no,
And there
hold
wasn't
on.
anything else that we got
Well,
billed
nothing that they're
after that.
stating.
If nothing is found to be wrong, we agreed to pay it.
So technically,
Except for the big vibration, huh? Otherwise, there's nothing wrong.
So it's
but
whether or
nobody
not
can
you
find
wanna have
anything
the,
wrong with it, and it's
but it-
quieter.
but it was wrong when they put it back the first, like, it was still vibrating then too, so it's an argument.
I think we'd have a
Do you guys wanna have the
hard
argument,
time-
or do you wanna pay it?
I truly honestly think we'd have a very hard time arguing, much less winning.
It's probably gonna cost us more to argue it than it would
Since
pay
we
it.
signed this, I wholeheartedly agree with you.
I mean,
Yes.
that's really where I'm.
Okay, so the board is
Well,
comfortable.
when and if it breaks, and if it turns out to be their fault, then we should sue.
If we could prove it.
It's
Yes,
gonna-
if,
yeah.
like, if it turns out to be their fault.
Right, you find a
the
failure
direction-
in a part that's a,
Direction of Brenda is to pay it.
That's,
Yeah,
yes.
where you get an option.
Sorry, we tried, but
You don't
it's,
need to- you don't need to
no one,
apologize.
the professionals are scratching their
Yeah,
heads.
you don't need to
So, I mean,
apologize. That's
you know, we
exact-
tried.
You
There
did
was some
exactly what we
success.
asked you
Yeah,
to do.
I don't want you to
That's
think
fine.
that we slacked on this and didn't care. I mean,
No.
yeah,
That's nothing to
yes.
apologize for.
But
and you-
anyway,
No.
so, okay, we'll take care of that. I had something else, Tina?
You have
Yes.
ladder?
Yes,
Owen?
So Matt will kind of know what I'm talking about. At well one, that's where the filter is. Everybody's heard us talk about the filter. When we get crazy cold weather, it doesn't happen too often in the winter, maybe a couple of times. But when we run the plant, there's on the roof up there by the filter, there's a small vent basically. And when we get crazy cold temperatures, as the plant is starting up, it doesn't do it the whole time, just as it's starting up, that little vent, it's about that big around, has a little screen over it, that will ice up. So we tried heat tape, we've tried everything, but you can't get the heat tape where we need to go. So the reason for the ladder is we have to, when we first start the plant on these cold days, there's times we have to get on the roof, just take a small torch, warm that up for about a minute while the plant is starting, and then everything is fine, it goes back to normal, it's no issues. We don't have access on that roof, so what we've been doing the last several years is climbing that little communication triangle tower.
Yeah.
And,
That's
yeah,
so
it's,
safe.
What's
it's
the,
kind of scary.
What's the height?
We're going to the second, to the tall,
Yeah, do you
I'm
know
not
that-
sure.
If it's over, as I was looking up, 'cause the OSHA passed a thing where 24 foot,
You gotta have.
if a fixed ladder at 24 foot has to have fall protection. Anything over 17 foot has to have a cage.
Yeah, this I thought spec'd out the cage.
All right.
I thought it, yeah.
But-
And like I
but
said,
it's
I can move
24
it to the
feet.
I can move it to the lower side, which we are absolutely within 24. I even think we are in the taller one, because I had the gentleman come out and I called both of them. Matt gave me numbers. Who was the other one?
Stenstrom
Stenstrom
and...
never called me back, so-
If we have it, we need to put fall protection in and make sure we follow the rules and.
Yeah, but like I said, if we don't, I can move it to the lower side. I was just trying to get away from climbing the wall, the parapet wall
Right.
inside, but that's no big deal. It's only 3 foot
I
tall.
think you're fine. I don't think it's quite that tall.
No, I don't think it
I
is,
think you're
but,
probably about 15 feet.
so anyway, the whole purpose was to put the ladder up there so we can quick
Safely.
grab the torch, climb up the ladder, warm it up for 30 seconds.
Does the
Plant
ladder
fires,
have
you're
a lock on it?
Yes, this will have the security door at the bottom, so the little kids that play over there in the summer
We don't
can't
have
climb the
much at the
ladder.
top of the water plant.
Yep, it's all spec'd, so.
Good.
It is under my spending limit, but like I said, I wanted everyone to be aware if they see work going up there, what's happening to the well, that's what it is.
I just know
We're
one
just-
neighbor over there would be calling, wanting to know what.
We all know, yes. But that's what it is, we're just trying to make it a little safer for George and myself to, climb up there when it's cold out.
I did see, Kyle posted somebody broadcasting, Trailer Park Boys on the water tower. And at first I'm like, what is Sandy doing? And then I would realize it wasn't our tower.
I think that is it for me, Dina. I do believe. Thank you.
And I don't have anything else.
Anything further on unfinished business?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's quick.
Mosquito spraying. I called the NPDS to follow up on our permit in December, and here we are, and I have not gotten a phone call back, so I'll try again. And then sidewalks, we have a meeting scheduled for tomorrow, so we're working on them.
All right. I'll ask for public, even though we don't have any. Public, you're more than welcome to come. Meet people that don't have problems would be a wonderful thing. Anything further from board members?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Then makes a motion to adjourn, Jared seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? We're adjourned at 8:08.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Night, John.